You learned the basics. Now it's time to run Turo like a real business. Episode 3 starts now. Certified Bottomless here, and welcome back to the series on how to become a successful Turo host. If you made it to episode 3, this is where everything starts to level up. You already learned pricing strategy, photos that sell, guest experience, and essentials. Now it's time for the advanced stuff, the skills that separate 5-star hosts from everybody else. In this episode, I'm breaking down how to automate your workflow, build review systems that work best, avoid the most expensive hosting mistakes, and settle disputes like a pro. With no further ado, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, bullet point 1 is building a strong review system. So aside from the guest automatically giving you a review due to your experience that they received with you as a host, if this was a case where they didn't automatically leave you a review, there are many ways to make sure you kind of enhance that review, or make sure they do give you a review. Or even if it's like they've meant to give you a review but they haven't done so yet, what I would suggest, or what I've learned from my experience, is just sending up a follow-up message. Or if you're meeting up with the guest, and that's a different situation, the same follow-up message you were gonna send, you could just say that to them while you're meeting the guest. And it could just be something simple like, hey, thanks again for renting my Nissan Rogue with me. I hope you truly enjoy your experience with the vehicle and my experience as a host. If you did so, if you could kindly just leave me a review when you do get a chance, that truly goes a long way for me. Just little automated messages in a way. And when I say automated messages, I'm not saying like they're automatically gonna send, but just compose something that you know could pertain to every guest. Just keep it in your notes on the side, and as soon as you drop off the vehicle or the guest returns the vehicle wherever it's at, whatever way you plan on doing so, just shoot out that message to them right then and there. Because even if they were going to leave you a review, now that you've also sent that kind message, it almost like enhances whatever review they were going to send you. And if they weren't going to give you a review or forgot, then boom, there goes your chance right there as well. Now, what could make a guest not give you a review? What could make them say, you know, I didn't enjoy my experience? It's not too many factors at the end of the day that will make a guest not want to give you a review. It could be you as a host being late. This is a big thing. Being late is a strong thing. Time is the most valuable and precious thing that we have right now on earth, especially as an adult, which is 85% of the people that you'll be rented to would be an adult, you know, in their late 20s, early 30s or 40s, whatever it is. Time is of the essence. So if you're late, that's just, it's not gonna sit well with them. Like, they wanna get there and go. That's why one of the best things is just having automated things put in place, like lockbox, unlock remotely, and those different kind of things. So the vehicle's already out there waiting for the guest. So it's like your part's been taken care of. You know, when it comes to lateness, one of the main factors that could cost for a bad experience has actually been taken care of. When your vehicle is not clean, nobody wants to spend money and not feel like their money is being well spent. Even if it's $1, even if you buy something for $1, you see people take it back in return and get their dollar back. Because if their money's not well spent, especially in this time of the economy, it just leaves a bad breath on the guest. So cleanliness is close to godliness, literally. If you believe in God, you know it's best to be clean. So nobody wants to be in a vehicle that's not clean. Another factor that does cause for a guest to either not give you a review or leave you a negative review is unclear pickup instructions. Before I became a Turo host, I was a Turo guest. And that used to ick me. It used to piss me off to the highest form, because if you don't leave clear pickup instructions, especially when it comes to the airport, it's just a hassle, it's a headache. I just came from a 6-hour flight that I probably didn't really enjoy. I'm hungry, I'm tired. Now I gotta spend another 30 minutes looking for this vehicle? No. Or just making it inconvenient. I've been a guest where I had to take a shuttle to the vehicle and all these different things just to get to the car that was not really detailed prior to actually booking the vehicle. So what you want to do is you want to have clear pickup instructions in your description. So before they even book with you, they already know what's up. Now, let's say you got a negative review. You might have to do things that pertain to just business and not really an individual's emotions that may affect the individual or may upset the guest. That could cause for a negative review. But when things like this happen, it's so important that you respond professionally and just in a great manner, because at the end of the day, the reviews are placed for the public. So if there's a negative review that cannot be taken off, because in some instances, Turo can actually remove a negative review depending on how serious that is. But in a time like this, since it's public, you want to make sure that your response is calm and professional, just so future guests don't scare away from booking with you. Bullet point 2, automation and workflow systems. Even though a lot of the things under Turo is manually done, there are still several ways to have automated systems in place. For example, of course, we already know about the unlock remotely or lockbox or whatever and whatnot. But when I say automated systems and things in place, I just mean like simple things, just like the basics that you can keep in your notes. So as soon as a guest books you, a simple greeting or whatever that you already know, you could just copy from your notes and just paste and send out. Pickup instructions that you know you could already have placed, and you can just send them out, saving you time and giving the guest the best experience possible. Certain things that you know is going to enhance the guest experience. A lot of times, especially in the business, when we start to get money and you get a little bit lax, you get a little bit comfortable when your first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bookings go smooth. You kind of forget about certain things that need to be done, or certain things that you started with in the beginning that needs to keep going. Just creating repeated checklists for customer turnovers, like the regular cleaning, refueling, and so on and so forth, just to make sure that the very first guest experience is still ongoing for the future guests. Nobody's below a great experience. So not only is your guest rest assured of a best experience, but even you as a host team is rest assured that things are going smoothly while the vehicles with the guests. 3, good maintenance that saves you money. Good maintenance equals fewer disputes plus better ratings. It's very important that we take proper maintenance of our vehicles. I think that after the first couple of bookings, like I said in the previous bullet point, is you do get a little bit lax in a way. Like you get a little bit comfortable because you know the first one went good, the second one, third one, fourth one. So now your nervous system is chilled out and you feel like you have it all figured out. It's so important that you service your vehicles. Like they're gonna run till they can't run anymore. It's just like us. If you keep working yourself, keep going to work, working 100 hours a week, working out every day, cooking the right meal, blah, 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 your body's going to burn out in a sense because you're not giving yourself the proper break to rehabilitate your body and get your body back right. And you're also not giving yourself the right nutrients. And proper nutrients can include little things just like sleep, just like rest. So making sure the vehicle is getting this due diligence, routinely maintenance checked up is very, very important in this scenario. Tires are always good, your brakes are always good. And just the things that you know, the little hassles that you know actually cost not so much, that if you don't get them fixed, it's gonna cost a bigger problem in the future. It's something that you definitely should be on the lookout for when operating the business. Make sure that you take care of everything, because not only will this affect your reviews, and we all know that reviews keeps your price point higher. And what people don't know on the platform is good reviews directly impact your search rankings, bookings, and price power. So this is something that you want to protect at all costs. And at the end of the day, why would you want to waste time fixing the vehicle when you know the vehicle should be on the road? Because you didn't want to take out that little time to service it. Now it has a bigger problem, and now you're actually losing money because it's taking longer to repair. Not only do you want to check the vehicle, but also make sure that you do the due diligence as a host. Make sure that you take the proper pre-trip photos, because under maintenance, you might not actually be the one to mess up the vehicle. It could be the guest. But if you didn't take the proper trip photos, pre-trip photos, now you're left being stuck to where insurance isn't covering you because there's no proof or photo evidence. Bullet point 4, smart add-ons that increase profit. These could be pertaining to different things. These could be just little extras that you give options to for the guests to pay for, like convenience kind of options, like just prepaid cleaning or different things. But also, not only is it for the guests to add as an extra, but just also things to increase your daily pricing, which could be little things that you can add on to your vehicle. For example, if you have any kind of car, just get little things on Amazon to kind of make your photos sell better. And when you make your photos sell better, that gives you a chance to increase your daily pricing. Overall, that just enhances your profit and separates you from other hosts out there. Because believe it or not, almost every vehicle that you have, somebody else on the platform has it. But let's make our vehicles separate. Let's make our vehicles different. And that's where add-ons, extras, enhancing the photos that sell come into place. And not only is it just for your daily rate to increase, but just also for you to get more bookings, which eventually is obviously going to increase your profit. It could be little things like ambient lights in the car, just things to make your vehicle look cool and separate your vehicle from the others. Because at the end of the day, everybody's looking for a different experience, something that they're not going to easily get. And nobody wants what everybody has. Everybody wants to feel luxury in their own format. So offering these different tools, these different things, like I have a Tesla, I have ambient lights on the bottom that say Tesla. And it's not like the vehicle came with that, but I have a Tesla Model Y. And I'm sure there are other Model Ys on the platform, but not all of them have the cool features that I've been able to add on. Just little things that kind of enhance your vehicle that automatically kind of give guests that, that's cool. Those are definitely good things to add. Bullet point 5, avoiding common host mistakes. I think one of the most common host mistakes is just accepting every booking. Now, I'm not saying cancel bookings because that can actually negatively impact you, but just know that all money isn't good money. So make sure that you do your due diligence. It's always a way to show that this might be a red flag, and it could be through the guest submitting a license that's not theirs, or the license is expired, or it's temporary, or it's a conditional license, or it's a license that just weird stuff that guests will do on the platform that you may not really pay attention to because probably the money was good, or you just feel like, you know what, I'm comfortable with my last 4 bookings. Nothing really happened. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this slide. Everything will be good. You never know what could happen. That one red flag can actually lead to more potential problems and even more of an expensive trip than whatever the amount you were gonna get paid for. Because at the end of the day, the guest has already shown you red flags, so you never really know what they're going to do with the vehicle. Overbooking without enough time between each trip. This right here could also negatively impact you, because what Turo does, and they didn't say this in their policy, but just from my experience, is that after you cancel a lot or you don't deliver well or a few bad reviews, it definitely impacts your search rank. You gradually notice that you get booked less and less and less. And on their end, it kind of makes sense at the end of the day because it's their platform. They're going to protect it at all costs. So if you're making them look bad, then they're going to try to hinder you from even that, giving them those kind of issues anymore. So just make sure that if you're going to book, create enough time to get the next one ready. So if this one ends at 3 and you know that you need 3 more hours, make sure that your trip buffer time gives you enough time, depending on how your lifestyle is, gives you enough time to get the next vehicle ready. A lot of times, you could get that. Even speaking of today, I have a vehicle coming back at 3:30, but then that same vehicle is going on at 6:30. So if you know within that time frame, it's not enough time for you to get the vehicle ready, clean it, take pictures, and deliver, then that's something that could negatively impact you in the long run. Taking too few photos. I feel like this is probably, should actually be number 1, is Turo requires 30 plus photos. I'd say give them 60 to 100. Make sure that you take every single detailed photo of every angle, because at the end of the day, it should protect you. And photos is one of the key points in protecting your business. It's evidence that you didn't do this damage and this guest did this damage, and now they need to get charged for the damage. And what a lot of people don't know is that damages, even the smallest damage especially, can result into high paydays. It's like a cheat code. Just make sure you take great photos so that you know that for sure you're getting your reimbursement. You don't want to lose in the business, and it's so easy to lose in the business. That's why there are so many people that may feel like Turo is not meant for them, but it's just not doing the due diligence and understanding the system. And this is one of the reasons why I provide videos like this, to help it enhance. I already know it, so solely just for you guys watching. It's not really for my benefit, especially when it comes to these series. I do think that another common mistake that hosts do make is communication. I feel like not enough balanced communication happens when it comes between the host and the guest. So it's very important that you provide proper communication. Slow replies is honestly a negative. It's like a red flag. If I was a guest, trying to book with you and you're barely responding, that just shows that you're barely showing interest in this thing that I just paid a whole lot of money for. And it just kind of shows how my experience is going to be. So I think that fast replies during the duration of that trip is very essential. Your automated messages too kind of enhance the guest. Oh, they're gonna reply on time, or you know what I'm saying? Like sending simple messages like, hey, thanks for booking my Honda Accord. It's a pleasure to host you during the duration of your trip. If you have any questions at all, feel free to text me on the platform, or if you felt like a faster route will be my number. Here's my direct phone number. You can call me right over. You know, just little stuff like that to definitely enhance the communication goes a long way. Bullet point 6. Dispute and damage handling masterclass. So of course, how to document damage. How does Turo know that this damage was caused by the guest and not caused by you? Or how do you provide proper evidence to make sure that you do get the proper reimbursement for these damages? I think one of the main factors is, of course, your pre-trip photos, but just also you have 24 hours to document the damage. So when documenting the damage, there's already pre-trip photos that have said this damage was not caused by you, but then post-trip photos is the evidence that the damage actually happened. And this needs to be created within the 24-hour window. So after 24 hours, they still give you an option to report damage, but your chances of that damage actually getting resolved is now very slim. Angles, timestamps, proper angles. So make sure that you document the right angles so that you can get the accurate reimbursement. Nobody's gonna come out and look at the vehicle unless it's like something crazy. But there's not necessarily an agent. You know how like insurance, like on Progressive or Geico, if there's a bad damage, they'll come out and check on it. Most cases, this doesn't happen with Turo. It's all through remotely. So you need to make sure that you get your right angles right and take proper pictures with the proper lighting and the timestamps. So that's why I said that 24-hour window is very essential, because you might think that they have no way of knowing when that damage actually occurred or when the picture was taken, but you'd be wrong. They do know. So now with damages, I feel like a frequent question is, what's considered a damage? How bad does the damage have to be considered damage? And then sometimes you might report a damage and Turo might think it's a cleaning issue. For example, like a scratch. So they'll call you, do like a video call and like, okay, wipe that scratch off. Let's make sure it's just not a cleaning issue. So that's when they differentiate between damage and cleaning. But now depending on your insurance plan, that kind of also goes hand in hand with the damage resolution. So if you're on like a 90% protection plan, meaning you get 90% of your earnings, then a lot of damages that will happen will actually not be considered. The damage literally has to be something excessive for it to be considered under the 90% protection plan, because in their case, you're getting most of your money. So now if you're on something like a 60% or 75% insurance plan, then anything above 3 inches or more is acceptable for reimbursement. I think another thing too that is important is, how do you speak to Turo when damages happen? I feel like a lot of people, when their vehicles obviously get damaged, you're upset. And that emotion is how you talk to your insurance agent. But then we forget that the insurance agent is also the same person responsible to making sure you get a reimbursement or making sure that your damage is handled correctly. But then you don't want to show that emotion. At the end of the day, this is a business and these things happen when you rent out cars. Nobody's above accidents. This is literally meant to happen over time renting vehicles. So you just have to have that at the back of your mind. And I feel like when you have that at the back of your mind, when damages happen, you know how to process them and proceed with them. So I'll just say, keep a calm composure whenever speaking to a Turo insurance agent. Last but not least, of all these bullet points from episode 1 all the way to episode 3, you've had it dialed in on pretty much the basics of how to become a successful Turo host. So now I present to you bullet point 7, scaling your fleet the right way. When is it the best time to buy a second car, third car, fourth car, or fifth? So I personally think that one of the best times to start scaling and building a fleet is when you become so busy with this hustle that it takes up so much time and it becomes the forefront of your life, of your career. Or when you found so much interest in the business that you're like, this is what I want to do. I'm ready for any headache that might come with this. I enjoy this, and this is something that I want to grow. Now, you don't have to go big or go home at first, even if you can financially afford it. It's important that you take proper steps prior to just jumping into something so magnificent. I would say there are many ways to scale and make sure that this is something that you're fully invested in. And it doesn't have to be like, okay, I need 4 different vehicles. No, you could partner up with a friend, a family member, or if you are young who lives with their mom and she works from home, on weekends, aside from your car, you can also put hers on there, just so you get a different experience from all angles before you fully invest. But after doing so, and you feel like this is something I still want to do, then of course, by then, you know that your reviews are literally up to date. You have then proceeded to become not just a Turo host, but a Turo all-star host, which guarantees you constant bookings and literally pushes your vehicles to the forefront of the platform. So if somebody cancels, then you're the next up, or somebody's first choice. Since there are so many Hondas on the platform, somebody's first Honda choice or economy vehicle will literally be your option. And that's when I feel like it's the best time to scale. Now, financially, if you want to know the best routes to take, I have also created videos to provide step-by-step way to get your next vehicle, your third vehicle, without actually breaking the bank. Because we want to keep our investments low to be able to yield a high profit at the end of the day. And there are different strategies and smart ways to do so. With that being said, that wraps it up for this video, episode 3 on how to become a successful Turo host. I truly appreciate anybody who's made it to the end of this video. If you made it this far, I deeply appreciate if you could kindly hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes on this video. It's absolutely possible. But that's the only way that my video gets to go out there on the YouTube platform, is literally by liking the video. So if you can just kindly do me a favor and just hit that like button. It literally don't cost nothing. It doesn't cost nothing to just hit that like button down below on your left or right, wherever it's at. It goes a long way for me. And don't go nowhere without subscribing to the channel, so you know every single time I drop a new video, depending on what it has to be. It could be from this to that, from that to this. You never know what's coming your way, but the only way to know and stay on top of it is if you hit that subscribe button. I'm out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay blessed. Skate.